The Jerusalem Council did not give us permission to eat unclean meat. Many people use Acts chapter 15 as an excuse to say, hey, we can eat whatever we want to. Let's have some shrimp and pork chops and all this other things. Well, that's not at all what this chapter is saying. Matter of fact, the very beginning of this chapter talks about how there was a certain sect of Jewish believers who were trying to force the ceremonial law on everybody else as a matter of salvation. Acts chapter 5 says there was this group of Pharisees that said that you had to be circumcised and keep the ceremonial law to be saved. And so in Acts 15, we see this general council called from all the different believers all over the place to come and talk about it, particularly with the leaders like Peter and the apostles. And then they come to their decision. In verse 19 and 20, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them, which from among the Gentiles are turned to God, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. Now in verse 20, each one of these has to do with food, but not one of them says it's okay to eat unclean meat now. See, the apostles were upholding the idea, don't eat meat that's been offered to idols. Connected with those meat offering to idols was the idea of temple prostitution of that day. They said don't do that either. And don't eat meat that's been strangled, and don't eat meat that still has the blood. Now the Bible is always very specific. If it was going to say it's okay to eat pork now, it would have said that, but it doesn't. You see, this general council decision was not saying that the dietary laws were done away with. It was not saying the 10 Commandments were done away with. It was simply saying that, hey guys, we don't have to keep the ceremonial law to be saved, but here's some things that you still need to keep doing in regard to food. Eating unclean meat is still a sin.